thought I'd do a little video for you guys. So like I was saying, the street is pretty narrow. You know, in these houses, there's a lot of houses on the street. They're pretty tight. Like I mentioned, I sold one, it was probably 10 blocks from here on a similar street, and I devalued the property by 10 grand because of, or 10% because of the street from the comps that I ran. So I'll run comps later today, like I said, and see how this looks. But I think if we look at those comps and they're on a decent street that's normal, then we'd take 10% off. You know, these rooms all look nice. They were in a pretty big rush when they flipped it because there's paint on a lot of the windows, I've noticed. They're the old wood windows, single pane, which is kind of what you want in these old houses. Sometimes people change them out and put in cheap vinyl. I'd rather have an inefficient single pane window than a more efficient double pane new vinyl window in these old houses. Here's another. You can kind of see all the paint where they kind of missed. Bathroom looks all right. Looks like some of the electrical's been updated. I'm seeing grounded outlets everywhere. Like I was saying, these are the old drawers. I mean, they're pretty cheap. These are not the originals. These are probably from the 60s or 70s. The line in the ceiling up here, I'm just going to get my list too and make sure that I get my hands on everything. Okay. So yeah, that line in the ceiling, I think that's just an old house thing. I've seen lots of that where it's just probably a beam up there and it settled a little somewhere and it probably has been there for 50 years or more. But we'll get an inspector, you know, in the attic, and, you know, whatever we buy, we'll get a thorough inspection done on and make sure. So here's the backyard. Like I was saying, this is about 20 feet. So if you went halfway out, I think it's going to be too far of a, for two things. One is you don't get a backyard anymore, and that's a big thing for buyers. And it's probably real close to being on the setback. And I thought this was an add-on here, and it probably, I don't know. The thing is the bathroom, nope, actually the bathroom's in this. So this is an add-on here. Yeah. That's also gonna make it a lot harder to put a bathroom right there. I think what you're gonna find tearing into this add-on is that when you go, if you were to put a bathroom there, you're gonna probably likely tear this whole room out. I don't know that for sure, but usually these add-on rooms are done cheap. They're sitting on concrete blocks. There's not a foundation under it. And I've seen lots of times people start tearing into them and have to replace them. This one is a lot better than most that I've seen. As far as it's not, doesn't, you know, a lot of times there's a big angle in the floor where it angles, you know, tilts away from the house that way. But you know, it's a nice room, and I think it'd be tough to get a bathroom in there. I mean, everything's possible. So here's the bedroom. Decent windows. I'm 6 feet, and you can see how tall that is. I've got at least 8 inches or something like that. And then here's the furnace and water heater. There's a hole going back there that probably is giving this combustion air. So we'd have to have somebody crawl in there, an HVAC guy, and look at it. Everything else looks okay. Haven't seen an electrical panel. I like opening those up to see what's going on. I don't know where it is. Yeah, interesting. And I looked at the roof when I came here. I want to look at that one more time while I've got you here. So let's take a look here. The roof is, looks to me like there's it's not at the end of its life, but it's probably at least halfway there. Maybe a little more. You start seeing these shingles peel like that. That's not the greatest sign. Also looks like there might be a couple layers of shingles. Usually doesn't quite look that way, but anyway. That cord up there is heat tape. That gets hot in the winter and melts the ice off of that section right there. It's got rain gutters everywhere. That's good. Okay, well, I'm going to go lock it up and then I'll get back in touch with you guys.